Hi there boys and girls, and welcome back to the channel. Got one of my games first in the Object 704, don't worry, put some good footage on afterwards. Right, I got a load of, I acquired a load of ×5 XP boosters through the store, and what I've decided to do with them is to drive limes up to tier 10 that I probably wouldn't have the patience to drive under normal circumstances. It would take too long and I'd probably get a bit too frustrated with it. So I'm very specifically using those boosters on tanks that I wouldn't normally drive. There's certainly tanks I want to play at tier 10, but they're not ones that I would probably have the patience to grind to grind out in normal gameplay. So with that in mind, I've managed to get to the American TD at tier 10, the T110E4, and with the rest of the boosters that I have, I'm grinding the Object 268 line, and this is the tank just before that, the Object 704. Now, I wasn't really, as you know, I don't play TDs a lot, and I wasn't really enjoying the experience, and then I just basically accepted that you are going to have to play a style of gameplay that doesn't come naturally to me, that I don't necessarily enjoy, which is protecting your tank by sitting at the back and taking sniping shots. Something I don't normally have the patience for, but trying to do anything else with this tank I found was impossible. You just take it out of the game far too quickly. You know, this gun is a 700 alpha gun generally. You know, if you get too far forward, other tanks are just going to target you and take you out. So we're here in Dead Rail. I'm in a traditional TD spot. Managed to get a shot in already. Mr. Motion over there is causing a few problems. The gun does quite a bit of damage, but as you can see, it's not hugely accurate, but I do manage to get a nice shot between the tracks and clear the motion there. And I'm basically going to play the TDs like I've seen other people play them, but that I just don't normally have the patience for, which is basically snipe and then reset camo and snipe again. Yeah, I mean, it's basically, I did start getting a bit more success with the tank once I started playing it properly. So the battles not going so well for us. We're a tank down, but so far I haven't been pushed on, so these guys are so I'm in a good position here, so I'm just going to stay in this position all the time that I can. We managed to get a quick look at the top of the T-54 turret there and clear him up for our second kill. However, it is just me and one other player on the green team, and now this FV301 has come around my flank. He's got a bit fed up of me having all this fun at the back of the map, and he's decided to push around on me. Now, he's not doing me a huge amount of damage, so I'm quite content just to try and keep my gun pointed at him until he pops out. I can't really have this guy sticking shots into my side whilst I'm trying to deal with other bad guys. However, our waffle is going to push him, makes him come out, and I do manage to take a snapshot there and take him out whilst he's on the move for my third kill. So now we're on a 2-on-2. So next we have to deal with the T-34. However, he ducks just behind there, and I don't have a shot on him, so I'm keeping an eye on the waffle tractor that's also pushing up. Thankfully, my teammate clears T-34 pretty quickly. So now it's time to push on this waffle tractor. I can afford to take a shot from him, load in the HE, and try and stick one straight through his turret. Teammate backs me up, whacks in another high alpha roll, and we clear him up pretty quickly. And who doesn't love to see a burnt out waffle tractor in front of them? So yeah, not bad a game at all. Not excellent, but not a bad game, and one I found a bit more enjoyable once I started playing the tank properly. I think got 3,300 damage and 3 kills there, so not too bad at all. Next up, we have a game from Lewis Ilikoski. He's rolling out on Vineyards in the IS-5. Now, it's a losing game, this one. Lewis doesn't get the win here, not through any fault of his own. He drives an outstanding game. one of the things that we're all very dependent on, and it's something that we all moan about, is the matchmaking sometimes. But you know, even the top players in the game, the super unicum guys with 70% win rates, I mean, if you've got a 70% win rate, it means you lose 3 games out of 10 basically. So if we, you know, as mere mortals lose 3 or 4 because we get bad team selection, we really shouldn't get angry, or as angry about it as some people do. However, I think Lewis would probably be quite justified in being a bit annoyed with his team here. At least 2 of them, I think a Challenger and a T49, are pretty much AFK the whole game. I think one of them does wake up right towards the end of the game, just before he gets taken out. So Lewis is going to have absolutely no help whatsoever on this flank, and effectively the green team are 2 tanks down. These guys, you can see them there in the background, they don't move for the rest of the game, which is even more annoying when you are playing, when you've got a good position and you're having a good game, and Lewis is going to have a very good game here. That's why I wanted to feature the video, even though it's not a win. He plays the tank incredibly well. IS-5 is a good tank. It's got a usual Russian gun on the front of it, but it's got good armor if it's angled correctly, and you can pick one of these up for I think it's 1500 gold, I think, isn't it, with the right clan access. So you know, a tier 8 premium tank for 1500 gold is always going to be worth getting. So Lewis is he's on the town flank at Vineyards here. He's got a nice position. He's keeping his tank angled. IS-3 here's going to get set on fire. Nice shot in the rear there, and then, yeah, he just doesn't move now. He just sits there. So Lewis is more than happy to stick another shot into him. Another one goes in, so I think that's over 1,000 damage that Lewis has poured into him now. So I think IS-3 is eventually going to get with the program and move forward a little bit. Lewis takes a bounce here. He gets pushed on by Mr. T49, pesky little rodent. Go back to the garage, pal. So yeah, he clears him up nice and efficiently. However, you can see that the team situation is dire. Lewis is the green team are 2 tanks down, and with the 2 guys who are AFK back in spawn, you know, he's basically got the whole enemy team to himself. So virtually impossible to get a win under circumstances like this. However, Lewis is not going out without a fight, keeping his tank well angled. He's got a great position here down this slight reverse slope with the rock as cover, and he's going to do his best to try and fight it out. You can always guarantee that somebody on the red team is going to farm up the AFK guys just to get the damage, so he's not being pushed on aggressively as perhaps he might be. I am surprised the red team just don't rush him here. I mean, surround him and rush him, but they don't. They seem to want to try and take him on from the front, even though he has a good position here. But ultimately, it's going to be a losing game. Lewis is doing a fantastic job in pouring in the damage. He's keeping his tank very well angled, but he is only just one. He is only one tank, and unfortunately, he's been terribly let down by his team here. Whacks in another high maximum roll there, but eventually the red guys are going to push on him, and he's going to be taken out. But that was, frankly, an outstanding individual performance. He does, I think, just under 4,200 damage and bounces about 4,100's worth of damage. So excellent individual performance, just unfortunately didn't get the win there. Okay, we've got a bit of platoon action, bit of screen in screen. We have Frost 136 in the T28 HTC and Frost Walker 27 in the Tiger 1, rolling out on Naval Frontier. The guys are going to play a patient game, good game. They're going to support each other well, and they're going to take their time and systematically deal with the enemy team. I think Frost has only had this tank about a week or so. It is one of the ones that's currently, I don't know if it still is, but it was on offer in the store for a greatly reduced price as part of the July 4th celebration. Now I bought this tank, I think, about 2 years ago, maybe a year ago, can't remember. And Frost basically asked me if it was worth buying, and I gave it a resounding thumbs up. Especially at the discounted price that it was in the store for. It's got a good gun. It's got 60 degrees of rotation on its gun there, which makes it quite a bit easier to use than a traditional TD, and it's got very troll armor from the front. All round, this is an excellent tank, and one that at the price it was being sold for is well worth buying. So the guys are pushed onto this corner here. They've got several tanks to their front, and they're going to play it patiently. They can't really push around the corner too much because they're going to get shots to their flanks and rear if they do. So they've effectively just got to play the tank patiently and chip away at these guys, which is what they're going to do. There's an SU-152 just around the corner there that Frost wants to get shots into, but he can't push around that because he's got to deal with these guys to the front, and we've also got an enemy IS on the hill there. So these guys have got to hold this corner and play it patiently, which they do. Frost Walker 27 managing to get a shot into the SU-152 there. And they're just going to try and hold this corner. I think the T-3485 there is being a bit pesky. He's basically holding that position, making it difficult for Frost to push round. He is going to get a nice shot into the 152 there and take a lovely bounce in return. As I said, very troll armor on the front of this tank that can be used very effectively. So Frost has pushed round now, cleared the ISU-152. He does take a shot from the the T-3485 that was on his flank. However, Frost Walker 27 is going to push around on that guy and get him cleared out of this position so that he can effectively clear this corner, allowing Frost here to try and engage the IS. As you can see in the smaller screen, Frost Walker has chased off Mr. T-3485, who I think gets wasted pretty quickly, and Frost is now engaged with this IS. Sticks a lovely shot into the top of the turret there, and very patient, clever gameplay from the two lads here, and working incredibly well together as a platoon. Now they've been tanks down for most of the game, and there's still a tank down in this game, so it is pretty touch and go. But the guys really do stick together well, focus fire targets, and systematically clear their flanks. I think between the two of them they get 5 kills in this game. So they really do play it very, very well together. He's having a bit of difficulty with the IS, but does eventually get him cleared. He's taken quite a few bounces as well. He's bounced over 1,000's worth of damage. And now it's a 3-on-3. However, we do have a one-shot 3601 up there. Frost takes another bounce. Now he's going to have to push over this hill, which means he is going to be hit by the other IS, and that was a terrible time for his track to get busted. It meant he couldn't quite get his gun down to clear this guy quickly. He's got his track repaired, clears him up now, and is going to push round on the last enemy IS here. Frost Walker has just cleared out another one of the bad guys, so it's now a 3-on-1. These guys should manage to bring home the win. However, Frost has taken a nasty roll there, trying everything he can to try and get the bounce, but it's going to come down to the reload here, and unfortunately the IS is going to get reloaded first and clear Frost out. However, Frost Walker still active in the game and takes out the last enemy tank for the win. Excellent platoon gameplay from the two lads there. 5 kills I think between the two of them, 2300 damage for Frost and about 1300 or so for Frost Walker. So an excellent game all round. Anyway, boys and girls, thank you to everybody who sent in a video for this week. Thank you all for watching, and as always, good hunting and bye for now.